with business. This is a great part for you to get your message out there, reach the masses on a global level to get your sales. Because right now we're all focusing on reaching a better audience. This couldn't be the better time with COVID-19. Instead of looking at COVID-19 as an issue, look at it as a stepping stone to reach the masses and to take your brand to the next level. So Marissa, if you can start with that first, put the presentation up.
Yeah, for sure. Give me a minute. I'm going to share the screen and we're going to get the presentation going.
Okay. And so while you're getting that, I also wanted to share first and inclusive only here, as far as like podcasts and next wave, regular TV or cable TV, as you know, it is about to be eliminated with different platforms like Fire Stick, Amazon, Roku. And so at close to the end of the presentation, I will be explaining a little of that and the opportunities with taking your podcast or your ideas as a business owner and your content for online courses and networking and putting it on a platform like Roku to have your own channel. And now you're even reaching more audience. Amazon, Roku TV reach billions of people every day. And so that's another platform. So if you're on these different forms, you have more reach. And so I'll be sharing a little bit of that close to the end of the presentation for that opportunity.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna bring it right back up again. I wanted to make sure I wasn't
Okay.
muted. That way I can pop in
And
within the presentation.
remember everybody, put your questions in the chat. We're going to do the questions at the end once our guest finishes. Thank you.
All right, can everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see it.
Go ahead, Alexis.
Okay. So can you click on one, please? So
Yep.
we're going to get started and tell you about what is a podcast, because a lot of times people don't know what are podcasts. So the point of a podcast is to entertain, inform listeners for their producer. It gives anyone the opportunity to do their own radio show. For the listeners, it gives them the opportunity to save and carry around content from comedians, journalists, radio personality to inform fun ways to gain knowledge and inspiration, and can be listened to while working, exercising, commuting, and so on. And so exactly, it doesn't matter what background or what genre of business that you come from. If you have something that you want to teach and enlighten people on, you can do it. Like for me, I know for Matters of the Heart, my podcast is based on talking about the issues of business. So where it plagues us, making sure that we're informed on relationships, finances. And so that's my target audience. It's key to have a target audience that you want to reach as far as your niche go, and just reach those. You don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. You don't have to have a degree to be able to have a podcast. You just know who you want to reach, what your target audience is, and just begin. You don't need a lot of the falsehoods is you need a lot of money to get started. There's not a lot of money involved in this. You don't even have to have all the equipment that to get started. If you have a computer or a phone, you pretty much can start a podcast, and you can be on multiple platforms, distribution platforms. And later in the presentation, I'm also going to show you how you can turn this into a multiple stream of income for you. So commercials, the sky's the limit. You can do commercials with your podcast. You can get royalties off of it. I know that we should all be inspiring to have at least 7 streams of income, and a podcast can do that for you. It is actually a tool to cross promote and to reach a lot of people at a small time span. So, all right, Marissa, you can go to the next one.
So this is the link to the Terry Price Show. If you do a little tidbit, I'm gonna go ahead and get that running up.
So while she's getting that, I wanted to be able to show you guys a different example of what a podcast is. You can do a podcast on YouTube. You can do it over your phone. Some people do podcasts at different locations. There's one called the Fishbowl Network where I co-host with Mr. Price on the Terry Price Show, which is an awesome platform. And I'll allow him time to, after we show this and give this example, for him to kind of talk about what he talks about on his show and this platform that he used with the Fishbowl Network. Because it's live. You know, his show is always lively. We always have fun doing the show. He's always about the community and reaching out to them. But it shows, you know, different avenues of how you can do a podcast. You can, at this point in this video, we're actually live on Facebook. He can take this video and upload it on YouTube at the same time. And then his audience is live with him as he's pre-recording his show. Now, we don't have sound, unfortunately, with it, but I wanted you guys to kind of see the setting and the atmosphere of that. And so, Terry, why don't you go ahead and tell them about the Terry Price Show, and why did you choose that platform with the Fishbowl? Because you could have did anyway. Like, mine's is more of an online platform, and his is more kind of like a live. We are transitioning him to the online platform so he can have broader reach. But this has an awesome reach as well. And I think it's because he likes hands-on with the audience. So it just depends on what you want to do. So.
Oh yeah, well thank you, Lexi. Definitely want to give honor to Miss Audrey and Miss Francis that's on here. They really have showed me, well, giving me the blueprint. So I definitely want to say I appreciate that. With the Terry Price Show, to me, I just had to go in the direction of doing a show that makes sense. I didn't want to. I didn't want it to just be just a podcast or so-called internet radio show. I just really wanted to impact the community by giving them something that they can carry, on their everyday journey in life. And I just feel like that the Terry Price Show that we've been doing that for the last few years. Is just enlighten people, because every time we talk on the Terry Price Show, you notice people be like, dang, I didn't know that. Oh man, this is what I need to do and stuff like that. And it's just, financial literacy is something that we definitely need to understand and learn. We need to understand about wealth. And I just appreciate that, I met Miss Lexi, and I met a core of people that came along the way, man, because I mean, you can have money and don't know how to spend money or know how to save money. So I just feel like the Terry Price Show, man, I just really feel like we go above and beyond on what we talk about. We definitely give you the blueprints on how to make it happen, because a lot of time people just give you enough just to pacify it. When a person pacify you, that means you're going to come back for more. And what we do, we give you the full course meal. We hope you get full. Then, hey, if you need anything else from us, you come back. So that's basically what we're about, man. We just about empowerment. We definitely just preaching on how important it is for us to be wealthy, dealing with savings, dealing with, digital currencies that's going on. Just keep up with what's going on in this world, because the money game is changing, it's going in a whole different direction. And we want to make sure that our people don't be the last in line,
Right.
on it.
So Terry, because I know we work close together on the show, and so I know your heart for the Terry Price Show is to inform our listeners, or your listeners, to be informed. Like you said, that's why we had Miss Francis on, who definitely had the blueprints on different finances and what to look for, like she's been telling us, and brought this platform for that. But as we see in the podcast community that is growing, and that there's a lot of money to be made, I know that with the podcast, you can reach a lot of people, and being, we like to call in the podcast world, being syndicated, because you can reach a lot of people on different platforms. Everything is online. And even with having that podcast platform, you can have multiple streams. We know that there's multiple streams, like even you because I think it's good to let the listeners know, because I want them to convey that the old way is not working anymore. The new way is in with the podcast. And because you expound on that, because you came from years of experience in the old traditional way of radio. And then you already seen, you had hindsight on, no, it's time to transition with going with someone who's an innovator like Sammy with Fishbowl Network of
Mm-hmm.
and having done
Okay, it's like a freeze going on. Can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you,
Alexa, you're
Terry.
muted.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay then. I couldn't hear Lexi. Lexi, whatever you said, I didn't hear you.
She
Yeah.
needs you to explain your transition from the old way that you used to
yeah,
do
from
things in
the old
radio
way.
to the new way.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
the
from
old
the
one.
old radio, from being on radio and having the top listeners on old radio, and transitioning into doing the new way with having podcasts, because we want to make sure that we understand, like, the Fishbowl Network has been around for a while. Sammy is the pioneer. She's a female Hispanic lady who is the
Mm-hmm.
pioneer of transitioning from doing it from the old way. She was with the K104s, the top radio stations, and you have that legacy behind you to know, hey, and that mentorship of transferring. And you knew that it was vital. And so it's key to know when it's vital to transfer over, like Miss Francis teaches, like knowing the times and deeming it and being able to make that transition. And so when did you know it was time to make that transition? And did you see a difference? What was the difference?
Well, when I started, we did, VHS, and we used to be on a Channel 28 cable network where we was actually on TV. This was back, I think internet probably the internet radio, the podcast, I don't even think it was in existence. So we used to do a show from an actual location, and we were just playing, like music videos and stuff like that. We'd expound on what's going on in the community. Matter of fact, we was out there in the community. So what I did, since I just started feeling for it, I felt like as the cameraman, I felt like I needed to keep up on what was going on and stuff like that. And I think YouTube came around probably some several years later. I don't know, you just got to keep up and pay attention to everything. And if you got some friends that's that's good friends, they'll keep you in the loop. If they started talking about, hey, things are going digital, we're gonna start doing CDs. So we knew we couldn't continue to do VHS because a lot of times, people want to give you a copy of VHS, and I just felt like just pay attention to what's going on. Read. A lot of people don't like to read no more, and that's very critical. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't always believe what people say. Just kind of do your own homework, your own research, And if you need tools on how to help you make money, because you can make money off podcasts, but like I said, at the end of the day, it just has to make sense. So
Right.
that's what kind of helped me, kind of transition.
Right, because I know that when you was working with Donnie show, and he had the opportunity to transition, the pioneer of it, because you want to be able to, deem the times. You
That's right.
definitely want to be able to do that. And all of the old shows are now transitioning to podcasts. So why would you
That's right.
want to be able to be on a regular, show? You want to be able to do podcasts. It is where it's at. To reach more
Yeah, because
people,
most
it's less
not to
equipment,
cut
less
you off,
overhead.
Lexi. Not to cut you off, I just wanted to kind of interject and say this because you'll be surprised. More people spend time on the internet than they do watching TV now. Everybody's on the internet now. Everybody, even granny's on the internet. Believe it or not, everybody's paying attention to what's going on. Your granddad, everybody's on the internet. So that's a good way to capitalize the audience, man. The
Well,
whole game has
Thank
changed.
you.
and if I may
Thank you.
interject real quick, also a good business strategy with any business is you got to go where your audience is. You got
That's
to
right.
go where your audience is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's something that's very vital. So Marissa, if you can go on to slide number 2, and we can get to that. But I wanted to make sure we convey that to the audience that, this is the new way. What Ms. Francis told you, this is the new way. It's not going to change. And when we get to these electric cars, the podcast, having your radio station, that's what they're going to be listening to. Right now, my platform is on all digital platforms, and you can say, hey, Zuri, Matters of the Heart, I am going to pop up. So Matters of the Heart will pop up. And so that's the new way of doing things. And it also, with you transitioning, it gave you a more reach to a better audience that you couldn't at first. It also make you allow you to have the chance to be more personable with your audience and connect. And you're not restricted, because see, on a syndicated show, you network or radio station, you're syndicated on what you really can talk about. With the podcast, you're free range to be authentically yourself, who you are, and what topics you want to talk about that's important to you, and to get that reach. Now, I say keep in mind if you're looking for endorsers, because a lot of companies are looking to endorse you, and that could be money as well for commercials, to endorse your brand and what you're looking at. So you want to be mindful of what you're putting out there, but at the same time, be authentically yourself. Okay, Marissa, if you can get me to number 2.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you wanted to show kind of the little bit of the atmosphere and how they have it set up with the mics, and the screen is actually going through,
And so with the online process with on the online process with Terry show, it's kind of like a ram through where you can see the host. It's like 2 different cameras where you can kind of see the host as they're talking. That's me, Terry, and my business partner, Miss Felicia, with Chosen Armor Consulting. We are the co-hosts with Terry Price on the Terry Price Show. And you see our guests over there, Miss Micah, who's a real estate agent. We had Miss Francis on. That's the one we wanted to show you guys, because you definitely want to still go back on the Terry Price Show and find that episode. We'll send you guys the link, because it's going to be dynamic tips for you to listen to about finances. It's a group thing to be able to work together with people. So, yeah, it was a fun show and exciting. You definitely, once you get bit with the bug, we say once you get bit with the bug, you can't go back. It's a great opportunity to share your platform and your voice.
I guess I'm just going to have to click the link again. Sorry about that.
Tell them also what days and times is the show airs. What day and time does the show air?
Okay, so Matters of the Heart, my podcast, Matters of the Heart, it is on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. And Mr. Price Show is at 11 o'clock on, when is it, Terry? I forgot.
She said 11 o'clock on www.fbrn.us. You can catch the show every Monday at 10 p.m.
Okay. And the reason I forgot, because we are in transition for Mr. Price to do a talk show. It's going to be awesome. We're in the works with that. And that's why I talked about that network, that platform. I will be talking to you guys about the platform with Roku TV. And so
let me tell them this, Lexi. If you still can watch the archive of the show. All you got to do is go to www.facebook.com/The Terry Price Show. And you can watch clips from when Miss Audrey, Miss Francis on there. A lot of people, a lot of guests that we had on the show. You still can watch like archives of the show. So you're welcome to go on there and just check us out and like us and subscribe and comment.
Right. And so, like we said, deeming that time, no one is to change. And so the next platform is online. Cable is not the new way anymore. It's all about online digital platforms and your television shows. So it will be Roku, Amazon, Fire Stick. We will be starting on Roku. And so that's the next platform where we're in the works of getting all
Lexi, not to cut you off, I was asked, someone asked me to put the contact info up there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it up
Okay,
there.
okay, got it, okay,
You
okay.
can also put it in the chat and everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Next slide.
Yep. So okay, yeah, number 2, please. Thank you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
where can I hear a podcast? If you got a smartphone, a tablet, the easy way to find and listen to a podcast is through dedicated podcast apps. And one of those apps is like Anchor. Dozens are available. If you're unsure how to start, we recommend like podcasts. You can find Matters of the Heart, like I said, on iOS, Android, Windows Phone, on a computer. Any popular way to listen to a podcast is through Apple iTunes software, which has a dedicated podcast section. Listen to thousands of different episodes and program standards, and a built-in system for downloadable episodes and transfer them to an iPad or iPhone. So that's why a podcast is important, because even with listening to it, you can't traditional radio, you can't save that segment, or if you at work and you missed it, or you're doing something and it's something that you wanted to actually listen to, well, with the podcast you can like Terry said, archives. You can actually save your favorite podcast, everybody that you want to listen to, save it, go back and listen to it, take notes on it, implement what you need to be implemented on any topic or subject that a person is presenting on their podcast. So, and you can find it on all like iTunes, podcasts. I'm on every iHeart Radio. I'm on every platform.
Yeah, and there's some platforms on the side there too: Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public, and also Facebook.
Yeah, so I'm on all of those platforms that you guys can listen and tune in on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. You can go and watch Mr. Price, the Terry Price Show's archives, and we are in the process of going on a TV show. So turning the Terry
And we
Price Show
also
into
do,
TV.
yeah, we'll do a live, we actually do a live, kind of like a studio audience podcast.
Yep.
We do guest speaking. I mean, whatever you want us to do, we can do it. We can make
And
it happen.
so with that platform with Roku, you'll be able to pay for that platform to watch the show. So it's like I said, guys, it's different ways to make streams of income with a podcast. For one, like on our podcast, you can have guests to come on and you can charge a guest, or you can say, hey, I want to service the guest, so then you can have them to do advertisement, do commercials to advertise on your podcast. You can, as well as, if you're not familiar with the system, the same system that artists use, as far as like BMI, you can put those platforms on there as well, so you can get paid for your digital content. You would just put the audible version on YouTube and get paid for that. So there's different ways of getting paid.
Right. Let's see what your platform looks like right now, Alexis.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
And so this is on Anchor. And you also did a trailer, right? So you can tell them about how you can customize your trailer.
Right. So it's important to know that brand is everything with branding yourself. And I'll have Marissa to step in and kind of talk about a little bit about branding and the importance of branding. Like with Matters of the Heart, when I chose my logo, I wanted to represent the different colors. Green means prosperity, purple means royalty and courage. The orange or the yellow color gold in there means like courage, because it takes courage to face your financial problems, to face relationships, and to get past old hurts and wounds and take that apart and build yourself back up. That's why the hearts are segment. And these are the things that I use to create that. And you can put your own logo on there. Whatever you trying, if you are a nonprofit organization, You put that on there. You tell your listeners a way to inform your listeners on what you stand for, what is your mission, and what your cause is. It's very well tailored. If you guys need help in setting that up, we do offer a 2-week course where we teach you step by step how to set this platform up, where you are instantly on all platforms. It doesn't take long to do this. We also show you how to do your scripts to interview people, how to get your people to interview. We definitely go in detail with that. And so this platform is like a one-stop shop platform. And me and Marissa has a course that we teach that. She'll also design a logo for you. And we work with you as you grow, as your platform grow, because we don't want you to stay the same. And with the podcast, it's not limited because you want to grow. You want to be able to take your stuff on Zoom, like Ms. Francis said, using the Zoom platform to do online interviews. That way it's easy to put up on YouTube. And as much followers you get on YouTube, YouTube will pay you if you get a lot of people on YouTube. So that's another stream of income. And so on here, you can do your trailer. I have a trailer on here for Matters of the Heart. Marissa, if you want to play it, I don't know if the sound.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, this is the Western with Matters of the Heart, where we talk about money matters, financial literacy, and talk about motivational experiences, and encourage one another to live our best lives clear from negative and past experiences with a biblical approach. You're one affirmation away from greatness. Sundays and Fridays from 9 to 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You're tuned in to Matters of the Heart with Alexis. So get your tea, your pens, your paper, and let's get to work. Change our mindset. Talk to you soon.
All right, so I like to call. Thank you, Marissa. I like to call that my tagline. Even in there, I said, hey, like you're one affirmation away from greatness. That's one of my taglines. And I will be having a clothing line out and an inspirational work-along book of inspirations and affirmation that you can speak on yourself. And so I just use that tagline to now sell a product. So always know when you're thinking about your brand and your podcast, it's an overall brand. And so when I say, hey, tune in, you can put different kind of music, set the tone. This platform is awesome. You can set the tone, what you want to put in here, what you want to say, brand your stuff. We teach all of that. Marissa, if you can elaborate a little bit about the importance of a brand and logo.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted you to go ahead and read what your podcast is about so they know a little bit.
Okay. So my podcast is about motivational tools with biblical principles that will help personal development, relationships, finances, navigating through spiritual, mental, and emotional traumas to become whole for the next chapter in your life. Because I find out these things hold you back from saying that you can't. And so I don't want you guys to walk away thinking that you can't do this. This is the time for money to be made with a podcast. Let's recap. It's a way to be able to generate generational wealth because you can in turn pass this down to the next generation. Kids can do podcasts. There are podcasts that are run by kids. This is something you can do as a family. Your church can get involved in this. Any cause or any notion that you want or you can think about, you can do it. It's just sitting down, organizing, making sure you brand your stuff properly. So again, you can make money doing commercials on here, and this platform is set in where you can get syndicated quickly, and you don't have to worry about, will people find me to pay me to air their commercials? Yes, they're listening to your podcast. When you get to a certain number of listeners, they will reach out to you, tell you how they want their commercial done, and you can get paid off of that. You can also get paid off of uploading your information to YouTube and taking that information and setting it on a platform called BMI. And then now you're getting royalty checks off of your intellectual property that you put out there, as well as you.
So I just wanted you to say that real quick, just the description, because it is very important. So when you are branding, you have to know what you're branding, right? So that is what she wants her podcast to be about. So I always want to reflect what the logo, will match to the description, basically. Like she said, she already gave a little tidbit on the psychology of colors, what she wanted. And it was really, I wanted to match her values with those colors. Like she said, the encouragement and the royalty, and the growth, because what she wanted her podcast to be about was to help people grow and develop out of that past pain they might have had, that trauma. So that's there. And then also to renew yourself, and to be educated as well. And then, so in the middle, and how this logo came about was actually an original drawing. And that's what I like to specialize on. I like to take art into design. And this was originally a drawing in my sketchbook. I just made it. I was gonna make it a tattoo or something, but I'm so glad that it matched with her logo, far more important. And so it's 3 or 4 hearts together, and it's mixed in to one, not just be a regular basic heart. That's kind of how, it's kind of like a growing heart. And so going through, the different, biblical principles, going through personal development, going through relationships, going through finance, navigating through spiritual, mental, and emotional. That's what you go through. And so branding actually has a lot of stuff behind it to make it really effective. But y'all don't have to worry about that part. That's my job. So all you have to worry about is the description on what you want. And we also, in our program, have different worksheets, as well as videos, that help you step by step to get to what you want. And these are targeted questions to really get to the core of what we want to talk about. And usually it's something you love or something you hate. And that's how we start with that. But yeah, branding, I did a couple different branding. So I stuck with the heart for sure, but also the text. So your fonts and stuff have to kind of match. So she's got some swirls, but she's got some thickness. So you want to kind of match that. So I got a thicker font. But I didn't want it thick for the of and the the. I wanted to separate that. So it brings emphasis to the heart. And then the T is bigger than here because it's matters, to emphasize the matters, which the matters goes back to exactly, the principles, what you're going through at that time. And of course, she has this platform. She's got the different platforms that you can go on here, and you will need like a little logo picture, see this little square box, and you'll need a designer to know what those parameters are, so that you could be on each platform. I think Apple has a very specific one. Usually when you do this one, it'll go to other ones, but Apple has a very specific one, and it could just be your logo, or it could be like a picture of yourself, and then this. It depends on what your podcast is, that you want to do. And this is one platform, and I just wanted to run through it to show you a little bit. You can see this is her last episode. It's got the date it was aired and all that type of stuff. She's got a couple others on here as well about different things that she does, and relationships and branding. I'm not even on there a couple times. I know Terry Price is as well. So yeah, I mean, it's important to have your branding proper. So the platform for Facebook,
Right.
I can.
And we help with those. Not to cut you off, Marissa, we help with that too, to format your stuff and do thumbnails on Facebook, YouTube. Having your website set up for that as well is another platform. And so if you guys are interested, I left some of the information in the chat. And so now we're going to turn this back over to Ms. Francis so they can answer.
Are we running out of time? I just wanted to show them real quick your Facebook, the little website we have, and the YouTube. Just
Go
to
ahead.
flip through it.
Okay.
Is that
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, that's fine. While you pulling that up,
Okay.
here's what we started with in the beginning of the session for our Juneteenth Economic Forum, the innovation. Welcome to the innovation economy, and this is a major, major, major factor that will be implemented throughout going forward in innovation. Um, remember, the new normal, podcasting is a part of that new normal. And since it's a part of the new normal, you have to now change your thought pattern on how to move forward but by using this tool that we're learning with podcasting as well as with social media that Jasmine presented earlier. Because if you don't use these tools, you become antiquated. And then what happens is your revenue no longer exists, and you wonder why. Well, it's because you didn't use these new tools. So what are you showing us now, Marissa?
Okay, so I just wanted to show the different platforms real quick that we have Alexis podcast. So this is her Facebook. You can see at the top that there are banners. So that's part of branding. She got this is like a little ad she had in a newspaper with that. I also designed all of these, of course. And then see, I wanted to show the different things that you can do with branding. So she's got her main heart that we talked about, but the color's a little bit different. Blue is trust. And then she's got a cross on there. So that goes with the biblical principles for podcasts. And then she's got her affirmations. I am beautiful. And her one tagline, you are one affirmation away from greatness. And then, I'm not a product of my environment, different things like that, which is kind of a glimpse to her what's it called?
Podcast.
So, and then this one is for her YouTube. And so this one we actually made red, and then, I changed her outfit to be red, and she's got her name there, and kind of like the same thing. But these are different formats that you can have. And I wanted to show something new that we're doing with your guests. You can, this can be an upcharge, not an upcharge, but an added feature within the class. And if I can find it, there it is right there. So I designed this as well. And this is the theme of her thing. It goes with her brand, the date and the time, her different platforms. And this lady, she did an interview with. So when you start getting people with interviews, you're going to need you don't need it, but it'd be nice to have it. It's really cool. A flyer, because it gives someone some consistency within your brand, and it catches your eye. And right. This person, Frances Dupree, she's a published author. These are different areas you can check out her book. And then she, talks about that and all that kind of stuff. Of course, that's Juneteenth. But so yeah, that's a Facebook platform, and the different things, and I can design those. And then real quick, here's the actual YouTube page, and see, you can see we're building upon it. So originally, if you wanted to look out another one of our presentations, our first one about 4 months ago that we had at the facility before COVID, you can take Facebook Live. It was a Facebook Live, and I have a thing where you can take a Facebook Live and you can put it on your YouTube platform. That can be very valuable, or the other method that Alexis talked about. But you can see up here, it's talking about, this is like a mobile version. So you saw the bigger version on Facebook, and if actually you go on to the YouTube, I don't know if that's better for y'all, but if you go on to the YouTube, this is the mobile version. So it shows just that, and a designer will know how to do those different ones. Here's here's just the one video. I wanted to show this because,
Yeah.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah, that's like me. Yeah, that's.
I wanted to show
You
the
can
watermark. You can have a watermark as
exactly.
well. Show.
Yeah.
Well, it's not showing it, but if you go on the actual link, there's a watermark.
Yeah. And so this is the different platforms, and like I said, you can take that content, put what she showed you like a flyer or your logo, and you can upload that to a system called BMI. Same things that artists use for music, and then now that you have that, now you're getting royalties based on your content off of YouTube that you put. So now you're getting content from your already existing podcast, from YouTube, and royalties from BMI because they will pay you for it. Because anything that is audible, it can get royalties. So just know that.
Wow, that's
Okay.
awesome. So go
And
ahead.
I don't know if you can, in the next slide, I don't know if you can hear it, but this is an example of a little commercial you can do.
Terry's commercial, we usually play this, so it just depends on how you want to market it. This is Terry's commercial with the Terry Price Show,
Okay.
which is awesome. So I don't know if you guys can hear it, but you can do this.
No volume.
Yeah,
because y'all can talk about it though, but this is what it looks like.
So with this, he has different music that's really nice that's going in the background on his commercial. And so even with this content, like I told you guys about the opportunity to put it on Roku TV, you can have this commercial uploaded on Roku TV and your stuff is getting advertised. You can do a Audible commercial similar to this on your platforms with your podcast, and people can pay you to do their commercials. You can get this as a commercial and have it now on Roku TV, because this is going to be the new wave. There's no more cable TV. They're going hard in the paint. If you guys even want to think about having your own network, I can show you how to get that as well as if you say, oh, that's too much hassle with the content and all of that, and you just want a platform to be able to share your stuff to 1 billion people and to have your own show, we can set that up. I can set it up where people can film you and edit it, and as well as to be on the platform. So just get with me for that information if you want to know more details. We are taking sales for that too if you want to get on the network, on Matters of the Heart Network, or I also have a network called Perfect Legacy Promotions, which is, like we talked about, building that ecosystem. My other business partner has that platform.
And Bread Magazine as well for interviews. But what I wanted to also add is, you know, a designer can help you with that. We also have other people that can help in the video industry. And I am getting into GIFs or GIFs, however you want to say it. Some people think it's GIFs, some people think it's GIFs. And basically those you can use as a social media advertisement for your logo or for your podcast, and I can make things rotate, flip, flicker, change colors, all that kind of stuff. And I will be getting Miss Francis your logo changing colors here soon.
Okay.
So you can show that later.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Alexis. Talk about the Roku a little bit. You went through it, you zipped through it, so kind of slow it down so our audience can understand. That's what we say next level. That's that next generation. So explain that. Go ahead.
Okay, so everything right now is taking it to the next level. You can have your own network like anyone else. So now you're bringing your content. So if you a web creator, when I say a web creator, someone who has movies, and you do your own movie platform and you want to get your movies out there, now you can have a network that you can plot your movies, or be on someone else's network. If you say that's too much hassle, I can't afford that, then it's not that expensive as far as being on someone's network. And so now you can have a spot where your movies can be now looked at, and you can do they can download it on demand, whatever you want to charge for it, whatever, like the person network, like say my network, Matters of the Heart, you say, hey, Alexis, this is me, this is my set fee, I would charge you to put your stuff on my network. But then you can choose what you want to charge and get the money of, how much you want to charge for your content on that network, for them to listen. If you are an educator and there's things that you want to educate people on, and you have webinars that you do, now we can get into the fact of you having a show, just saying a day in the life of you. You know, a show can be created. And now you can then sell on additional of that, have them log into your webinars that you already do and have them pay a subscription just to subscribe for whatever content you're talking about. If it's finances, the startups of finance. If it's stock market, your different series, now you can have them subscribe and pay for that, or subscribe for your different series that you teach. So now it's really expanding. So even on like my network, I have different like people who are interested with their podcast to be on there. And now I'm working with my service label with artists. Now they want their videos, their music videos and content on there. Now it's a space for that. If it's something you want to teach kids or family show, whatever idea that you may have and want to come up with, we do have the blueprints, like Mr. Price said, on that to
That's
be.
right.
Mr. Price is an actor. So if you need an actor to do your monologue for some of the stuff or content that you want on the show, he can do that. And so we have a one-stop shop. I'm always saying I have a one-stop shop. I'm building that because I have an ecosystem. I have people that I want to eat just as well as me, and we build that network. So I have someone who can do the editing for your videos, for that content. That's separate. To be on my network is one thing, but it's separate to be able to have an actor or someone who can come out and video tape what you're trying to do, or to edit it. I have an in-house editor with D-Will Media that does editing. I have people who do photography. So it's whatever that you want or content, if you can dream it up, is the next level to reach billion of people. Now I just said on Roku is a billion people. So I hadn't got to Fire Stick or Amazon. That's another billion people. So there's different platforms that we can post this on and have it on. It's whatever your heart intent. Now that you thought you'd had a small reach, now you're reaching the masses who wouldn't possibly seen you at first. That's why I said, don't get discredit COVID-19. Say thank you for opportunity. What Ms. Francis always talk about, using these small things to as your ammunition. Get ready for the wealth transfer because it's here.
Right.
So it's opportunity to get that in your scope and for you to have that reach. And your podcast
Right.
is one. We can turn it into a TV show. We have a location for that. If you kind of say, hey, I'm not good at kind of navigating, you have me, you have Marissa, you have Terry. Terry's a good actor. He's also a good commentary to be able to help with that. So the sky is the limit, and you have a team that's behind you, and we willing to help you and show you the way, just like Ms. Francis is using this platform.
Yeah.
The community center is having this platform to show you guys and to elevate you.
Yeah. Alexis, can I show real quick the podcast tips on hosting a podcast with Terry Price so they can hear a little bit of his acting? And intros. And you can do intros with your guests too.
Yeah. And we have Shantae Gibson in our post too, while you're getting that up. We have Shantae Gibson, Tyrese Gibson's sister, who has given us, she's interviewed people on the red carpet, stars, celebrities, tips on how to interview your guests. So we have a good platform for you in-house for you to succeed. So,
all right.
While you're getting that, Ms. Francis, we probably want to talk about any questions that anybody may have, or
yeah, Audrey or Jazz, would you start the question process while they're getting that together?
Yeah, I already had it here.
Oh, okay. Go. Okay, we want to play it real quick, Marissa.
Hi, guys. Dealing with the lessons with matters of the heart, where we talk about relationships, financial literacy, and attitude, and also how to get over past wounds that hurt, so we can be a better version of ourselves with a biblical approach. Thank you again, guys, for tuning in. I want to say thank you for all my faithful listeners out there sticking with me. I know there's been some ups and downs of matters of the heart, but you guys are faithful, just like I'm trying to be faithful with you guys, and I'm glad to have you listen and tune in and I have a great show for tonight. I'm going to have no other than Terry Price from the Terry Price Show tune in with us. And we're going to be talking about, for Texas, the uplifting of quarantine for Monday and how we think that's going to look, and things to inspire people who want their own podcast, how they can do such, and the benefits of it. So you guys definitely want to be tuned in. Don't go anywhere. Get pen and paper so you can write these wonderful tips down. For anyone that's interested in starting your own, remember that Matters of the Heart is also having a webinar on this. We also do 101. It's $150 to do such. You can put it within 2 installment plans.
Marissa, can you fast forward it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because we want to get to the question.
Guys will be
All right. Well, anyway, I guess I get to hear the intro.
Yeah. So they got the intro. They can definitely go in and tune into that. Terry was a guest on that show, and it talks about different tips. I really want to answer you guys' questions and make sure that you are ready to start and launch that podcast and get ready to make that stream of income and any questions that you may have.
Go ahead and get out the activity sheet, and all the information for the webinar will be at the bottom, and I will start putting in all these links that I've been showing everybody in the chat. Go ahead and open up the questions. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Jazz, go ahead and ask the questions.
All right, so someone asked, do you rent space on the platforms or pay for it? Also, does that need to be approved by someone?
Nope, and no. So no, there's no renting of space, which is good because you don't want to come out of cost pocket. So there is no need to pay for the space. It's free. Do you have to get permission from someone? No, like any platform that you have, there's guidelines, what you can do and what you can't do in a sense, but you're not restricted. As far as your platform, how you want to say and come across authentically, they accept that. Is there restrictions? No. With the platform, do you have to get approved? No. Once you start getting approved, as you load, they'll have you on set platforms, maybe 5 or 6. And as your podcast continues, you'll keep uploading. They'll keep notifying you of being uploaded on different platforms as they come in, as well as when you reach a set number, they'll start telling you, hey, now you're available for syndication. Now this company would like you to do a commercial for them. And so you have to do that commercial. It gives you the guidelines. And then once you reach those guidelines in that commercial, it'll start telling you when you'll get paid for having that advertisement in place inside of your podcast.
All right, thank you for that. And now the next question is, will you review all the where to listen platform icons on the slide? I think I would like to see that one again.
Okay, yeah, Marissa can do a copy in the chat of the different platforms. Because that's a lot. Those are just many. There's a small few, but there's a lot of platforms. So.
Okay. Someone else asked, how often should I do an episode? Because they've been thinking about starting a podcast. And then also, how do you promote your podcast other than just inviting guests?
Okay. So I'm going to have Terry help me answer the second part of that question. I'm going to answer it, and then I also have Terry to come in and answer that question as well from his point of view. So yes, it doesn't matter. It's when you set your time, when you want your platform to be. If you want it to be 7 days a week, you can have your podcast to be 7 days a week. If you want 3 days out of a week, then go for it. Wednesdays is the best time. We say that in podcast or in radio. It's the best time of the week because people away, they travel. But right now, everybody's on the same pace with COVID. So you can have it 7 days a week. You can have it 2 days out of a week. You can set it the time frame that you like to set it. Mine started in the evening because when I started, we didn't have COVID. And so a lot of times people like to listen later on. But again, like I said, it's a podcast. You can have your podcast at 8 in the morning. it's a podcast, so people can come save your podcast if they want to listen later on. So it really doesn't matter the time frame that you started or the day of the week or how often. I just also would like to tell you to start 30-second increments until you build yourself up. You know, you don't want more than an hour, so I say 30 minutes to an hour, each show, and start off with 30 minutes, because it's going to seem that 30 minutes is going to seem long when you're first starting out. To get the content, you got to get used to either being on any platform on your phone or in front of your laptop. Just hearing yourself talk, you may get nervous, but the great part with that is you can edit, start over, no one won't know, and then you can broadcast it, meaning go live with it or on the platform to air it. So Terry, you have any questions to answer that question?
That's the question, though.
Oh, I see you, Mr. Price.
You know, do you guys hear me?
We're getting
Yeah,
a
so
feedback.
we have a lot of feedback from me.
Right, your mic.
Okay, I got my, hold on.
Try not to move, so
Right. Go ahead.
This.
That better.
that's better. That's better.
Better. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you know, you
No.
Hello? You guys hear me?
No, it started
Choppy.
messing up again. It's kind of choppy.
What's going on? Okay.
Yeah, right there. Don't do nothing. Talk right there. Oh,
Right there. What about now?
no, it's still kind of choppy.
What's going on? Okay.
Well, okay, so
JS, are there any other questions while
Yes,
Terry's getting his audio together?
I'm trying to fix my audio.
Someone asked, how much do these platforms cost to use? Like such as like the ones like Anchor that you were speaking of.
yeah, if I'm sorry if I didn't iterate it, it doesn't cost anything. So, but you do need to know how to navigate it, set it up properly. And that's what we teach. We teach these different platforms and how you can set your podcast up on it. Our course to set it up is a 2-week course. You can be up and running within 2 weeks because we include the branding, the overall model and structure of a proper way of doing a podcast. On equipment to do it, we show you where you can get that for the low, but again, like I said, that you don't need to have that. Our fee to show you how to do that is only $150. We do it in installments. You can split that in half. So it's a 2-week course, only for $150. You can split that in half. We teach you how to set it up on all of the platforms. And those platforms is no cost to you. We wanted this to be affordable as possible so you can start getting your message out there and get the structure of what you need. So we even teach you what's the next level of how to set up your BMI to make sure you're getting those royalties as well from your content.
Yes, and we also have a website that you can go to, mattersoftheheart.now.site, where you can go ahead and sign up to get that course, and it shows our flyer, the contact information you will need, and then you can contact us or email with any more questions that you may have for the course and stuff like that. I will put that link in the chat so you can check out that website.
And I put both of my emails, Alexis mattersoftheheart@gmail.com and Williams AAA1@gmail.com. You can reach me there. So if you have any questions and want to sign up, you can reach me there.
All right, and then someone asked, what would you say is the proper format, kind of like a template for a podcast, as in like intro, wrap up, like all that other good stuff in between? How would you segment it?
So I would always tell people first to write down your ideas. Who's going to be your target audience? What are you going to, who are you going to reach, or what are you going to talk about? So get that formulated on a piece of paper. Like, okay, I want to talk about this. This is going to be my niche of what I want to talk about. And then think about how many people that you can invite to listen to your podcast, or you can interview. If you want to start off just you yourself doing content, you can do that. Before you start thinking about guests, I would first write down, make the vision plain, of course. What do you want to talk about for your podcast?
Yes,
How
and
many seconds do you need? How many seconds do you want to happen for that podcast? And then I would tell you to, again, like you've seen the intro and outro, then start thinking about what do you want to, how do you want that to come across? Come up with a tagline. People remember taglines and slogans. So put that in your intro. And then I always do my intro with my outro. Like it's the same thing. Like my tagline, you want affirmation away from greatness. I end with that. So it just depends on you and how you want the flow of your podcast to be. And again, we teach you that, and we show you templates in our webinar session.
yes, that's what I was going to add. We'll actually help you step by step in our course. We'll have activity sheets for you that will be directed, and it'll be all customizable. And with the branding as well, we'll have one-on-one Zoom sessions to meet your needs. Also, I wanted to throw in that Alexis is a consultant as well. So she knows what she's talking about. And like I said in my bio, I've been doing this about 6 years now. Been in school for it. So, and I've been doing a lot of branding, and you can see my stuff at Blue Flame Graphics on Facebook, and I can send the link in there as well. So yeah, just want to let y'all know we are both experienced, and you are in good hands.
Yep. And then too, if you want to ask someone like Mr. Price a question or advice on questions, and again, like questions to interview, we have that for someone who's interviewed the stars, celebrities like Shantae Gibson. So these are formats and templates that you can take and structure yours around it, and we teach you how to structure it and show you how to grow with it as your podcast grow. Because you may get to a point that you have a lot of guests, a lot of people, then how do you turn that into something big? What's the next step? You can brand your podcast into something like a magazine. Like I talk about junior billionaires on my nonprofit on my podcast. I did a commercial with it. I even did a commercial inside my podcast talking about my webinar for it. And I also have a magazine. So the skies is the limit. If you can think outside the box with it, there's no limitations with it to make streams of income, because this is a brand. Again, another way to make money is you can ask guests to come on and charge them for that. You can turn it into a digital podcast and online magazine where you're now doing interviews on YouTube and putting that content on there and charging people just to be on the online version as a magazine. So now you having multiple streams, and then you're taking that same content, uploaded in the BMI context, and now you're getting royalties from that. It takes 6 to 9 months for BMI to search out all the platforms. Guess what? When you're on these Anchor and other platforms, this is what's called a distribution online platform. So all of those contents that you have and where it can be found, in YouTube being one, now BMI is going to pay you for that. It takes 6 to 9 months when you initially started off on there, and now you're getting royalties, and you're building a portfolio that you now can have for your kids to have for generational wealth. You're building a catalog, and you're not even a music person. A lot of people don't know that. That's just, you only got that right here. So.
All right, and it looks as if we have one more question. Are there any particular platforms that have the largest user audience, or how can you check when users are actually listening or using that platform?
Well, I'm glad that person asked that question, because in each platform there's aneurysm and analogs that tell you where your audience coming from, how many people listen in, and which episode got the most views. So now you know how to tailor your podcast maybe on a subject matter. You may say, well, I know people like this subject matter a little bit more. How can I expand it? How can I bring more people on to expand it? And so you go with that, and you get more listeners pertaining to that. And who has the most? I would like to say all of them do. It just depends on a person's preference online and what they use the most. iTunes is a good one, and Anchor platform is a good one.
That makes sense.
All right, and I think that was the last question there. It looks as if because I see Marissa is in here answering some of them. So I know a lot of you all. So if you don't hear your answer, make sure you do refer back to the chat box because Marissa may have actually answered it via
I'm
chat.
trying to answer some as well while y'all are talking.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
So try to
make sure you
utilize everything. I want to make sure you get all your questions answered. If you still have more questions, feel free to email us at alexismattersoftheheart@gmail.com.
And Marissa, you can put my phone number in the chat as well if they have questions additional after
Does
this. I'll be able to take.
Real question for everyone. Does everybody have their activity sheets? Because our email and phone number is at the bottom of it, and I wanted to make sure everybody was able to answer those.
Yep, but if you can also put my cell phone number in there too, just in case that's the business line, but if you can put my cell phone, I want to definitely, for those who came and tuned in and joined in for this on this platform with this community center, you definitely can reach out to me and ask me questions on there. I want to be to your disposal, so you can call me on my cell phone. If I don't answer, you know that I'm probably talking to someone, and then I'll get right back to you.
Okay. Yeah, and I just finished answering Tommy Coleman about when our next 2-week courses. We want everybody that is interested to sign up through our website, mattersoftheheart.now.site, and then we will contact you more information.
Yeah, or you can shoot us an email. Shoot us an email to any one of those emails, and we'll get back to you. Or you can call me and let me know, and we can talk in detail about it. Just because you're on this platform, know that it's advantages to make sure you look out and see what the community center is doing.
Yes, for sure. I'm very grateful for the community center, Miss Francis, Jazz, and everyone, and Audrey, everybody who has allowed us to be on this platform.
Well, thank you guys, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Alexis, Marissa, but Mr. Price, thank you for showing up. because I know you're very busy, and Terry does a lot. He does a lot in movies and in Hollywood. So no, I really do. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate it. Okay, so Jazz, you gonna close us out?
Yes, so if you look inside the chat box, I also put our text to give information. So anyone that's able to give, we truly appreciate it. All donations are accepted, so there is not a such thing as too little. So you can get that, and like I said, get that information in the text box. Everyone should have received the activity sheet, but by chance, if you did not, please email us. I'll put that in the chat box again before I close this out, but you can just email info@ZWHJCOC.org. Other than that, we just look forward to.
Can I say something? So if you guys donate, so we'll take 25% off for all those who donated, and if you want the course and you actually gave a donation, we'll take 25% off.
Send us a screenshot of that donation, okay? Because that goes to another department. So in order for me to know who donates, I need a screenshot. I love the honor system, but I prefer a screenshot.
Yes, I have one final thing. At the beginning of the chat, I have a list of the books for those that are interested in the quickie class for July. For the cash flow, collateral, and leverage, there are 3 books there. Those are the books we're reading. So I just want to make sure everybody take a picture at the beginning of the chat. You'll see the 3 books listed. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So I'm gonna leave this chat box open. I'm gonna leave this information open for a little bit. So I know a lot of you all may need.
Are we able to screenshot it? Are they able to keep this information if they didn't get it?
It depends. I mean, it depends on what device they're on.
Okay.
Yeah, so depending on the device that they're on, you should be able to screenshot it. You can take a picture of it with your phone or screenshot it directly from your phone. We do record this, so there will be a recording, so they can definitely go to YouTube and retrieve that information as well. I do see Marissa just put it back in the chat box, so please
Yes.
go ahead and take a picture of that. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and close this out here, but I will leave the actual classroom open for about maybe 2-3 minutes following our closing, so that way it gives you enough time to take pictures and write anything down. But again, we want to thank our presenters. Of course, I want to thank Francis and Audrey for being amazing. And then also I want to thank you all for participating. We've had a very consistent participation, and so we truly appreciate it. It does not go unnoticed. Tomorrow will be our last day, so we hope that you will continue to join us. It's going to be on entity structures. So kind of what it piggybacks a little bit off of what Alfred was saying with the whole taxes and how there's different tax advantages depending on maybe your entity structure. So I definitely suggest joining that class because like they said, it's not always about making money, it's how can you keep that money. So learning what type of entity structure you need to be is crucial. And like I said, we'll be going over this tomorrow.
Some money.
Exactly. And then we'll have Audrey, our very own, teaching you all how to sell, the power and the art of selling.
Yes.
And as you can see, she has a charismatic personality. So that's going to be amazing, and that's going to be great. And that's also when we announce the winner of the tablet that Francis Business is donating to us. So I highly encourage you, especially if you've been with us more than 8 sessions at this point, at 8 sessions, I highly encourage you to make sure you visit on Friday during Audrey's session. We'll be announcing at the end, so that way I can retrieve all the names. We'll be announcing at the end who is the winner of that, and then we'll give you all the nitty-gritty details of how we're going to get that over to you.
Ms. Francis, can you say what your contact information is? Somebody said that they want it.
I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Also, there are several that are saying they don't see the books. If you scroll up, they're at the very top.
Yeah, I just redid your book list as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought she redid the text to give too, so we appreciate that.
Yes.
Because you're moving way faster than I can.
I'm trying. You say only 3 minutes, right?
Yes, I want them to go ahead and get it. So, and I think, and there's one, and if you want to sign up for that cash flow and leverage class, again, email us so that way I can put you on that list. That class is going to start in July. We don't have the specifics of a date and time in this moment, but it will be a recap course to kind of catch you up. And so again, if you're interested in attending that, please make sure you email me so we can add you to that registration list, because it is a closed class. So that means once we have that list, you cannot attend. So we want everyone to get this money. So please make sure that you attend this class. So email me if you're interested.
What is your email?
It's you can just do info at ZWHJCOC.org.
Okay, I hope I got that right. Info
It'll pop up and I'll see.
ZWHJCOC.org.
Yep, that sounds right.
Okay.
Oh, it's Z. Z is in zebra.
Oh,
Z
okay.
zebra.
Yeah. Let me also add, you will have to have gone through the books before the class starts, at least 2 of the books. So the Science of Getting Rich is a short one, 70 pages. Start with that one, and then go to the 100 bagger. But the only game in town, that's a little bit, has a little bit more content, but you need to start your readings this weekend, I would say.
They want to know, do I buy it from Amazon?
They're available.
They're available on Amazon, but the Science of Getting Rich and the 100 Baggers, they have PDFs. You could Google it and get a PDF, a free PDF, but you have to buy The Only Game in Town from Amazon. Okay. And
Okay.
that's talking about, and that's going to talk about monetary policies happening now.
All right. Are those all the questions that we have?
When does the class start? I already emailed. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Yeah,
we'll
we don't
follow
have
up.
details. Yeah, exactly. We don't have specifics. You'll
Yeah.
receive that information later. If you emailed me, you should have received the response from me that said received and thank you.
Right.
If you didn't receive a response that said received and thank you, that means that I did not see it. So by chance, maybe something got lost. So please go ahead and resend that to me. But only send it if you did not get a response that says received and thank you.
Yeah, and Alexis, just go ahead and say your number real quick, because I was trying to copy and paste it, but I'm also answering people. So.
Oh, okay, don't worry. So my phone number is 214-994-9452. Again, that's 214-994-9452. And I will try to put it in the chat now.
Okay. Well, now I can.
All right, so that's it, you guys. So like I said, I'm gonna leave this open for three more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording though. Please feel free while you're in here. We won't probably be answering any more questions. I won't be manning the chat box, but please go and retrieve the information out of there that you need to reach out to who you need to. Other than that, we thank you.
I
and we'll
will
see
put
you
my
tomorrow.
information in as well if anybody wants to contact me for graphics, and then we'll, you know.
And if you need to contact Terry, you could get Terry through Alexis. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
I'll
best
put his
way.
information. I'll put his information in the chat. Yes, and I'll put his
Don't-
info in the chat. So you
Don't
guys
count
can
on don't
reach
count
out
on that, y'all. Don't count on that. Contact
That's
Alexis.
bad. That's bad.
Hey,
No,
we a
he's
team.
just a
We're a
very busy
team.
man, but he's also
We're a
open
team.
to helping everybody as well.
We're a team.